Hello there fellow NPCs, I'm Scythe, and today we're getting back into Everlasting Summer, and we're going to start a new path today. My plan is to go for the Ulyana path. And yeah, I know what it sounds like. Ulyana is what, a 13-14-year-old girl, and I am a 30-something-year-old dude in a 17-year-old boy's body. It sounds creepy as all hell, but I know this game, nothing like that is happening. It's suggesting things, but nothing is actually happening. And not suggesting, that's the wrong word, but either way, nothing is going to happen. That's the very important part. So now, let's get to Sovyanok and find out how we're going to charm Ulyana. I know it sounds bad, but trust me, it gets better. You've seen Elena's path, it's something like that, you know. Now, let's go. Actually, in order to make things faster, we're going to reply so that we can sort of combine these two, because I don't think they will interact all that much, honestly. So this will be fine. You can reply to her. What did she even say? Hi, you must have just arrived. Yeah. Alright then, welcome. She smiled broadly. Strange, it looked as if I just had a normal girl in front of me. Bah, I shouldn't have returned here. The woods and fields seemed better. But what should I do next? Try to speak with her as if she was a human, or run away, or what? The blood was pumping unbearably in my head, tearing it apart from the inside. A little bit more and the poor pioneer girl would be splattered with the gruesome contents of my skull. Well, that's nasty. What's so fun about that? The girl looked me over. It sent shivers down my spine and my knees started to tremble. Ooh, nothing. Great then. Great? What's so great about that? Suddenly a thought crossed my mind. To hell with it all. Forget about the bus behind me, the fact that it was winter yesterday and summer today. I want to rip off my itchy sweater and just accept that it's all actually happening. Everything is as it should be. All this is for the best. Would you happen to know... You should go to our camp leader. She'll tell you everything. Look. Just go straight ahead to the square, then turn left and you'll see several small cabins. And I believe we've seen this, so let's go. And here is our first important choice in the game. Well, not the first important choice, considering that I'm combining paths, but we are meeting here with Ulyana, and she is striking to take my cutlet. So now I have to take it back. It's something like that. I don't quite remember. I looked at her menacingly and was about to reach out my hand. See? I don't have it! And indeed, Ulyana's plate was empty. It seemed that this little girl eats as fast as she steals someone's cutlets. Take it easy, we'll work something out now. She grabbed my plate and ran off. There was no point in following her. If they want to poison me here, they could have done it in a much easier way. About a minute later, Ulyana returned and handed me a plate with steaming hot cutlet on it. Yeah, and that's the one with a bug under it, so we've seen this. So I'll see you guys in the next choice. Let's go. I was going to catch up to Slavia, but where does she live? And knocking on every door during the middle of the night didn't sound like a bright idea. Yeah, so we're going to take the keys, because I'm not just combining Ulyana and Slavia. I'm also putting in Miko into this run. That's the pretty much the last one, and then we only have one secret one. I better take them. I'll give them back tomorrow, because who knows what happens here at night. Such thoughts give me the chills. It's me who needs to be careful here in the first place. The night, though dark, wasn't silent at all. One could hear chirping crickets, the song of the night birds and rustling trees from everywhere. A sudden desire to follow Slavia's advice and go to the camp leader's cabin appeared. I don't know why, but the sight of the unknown bronze builder of communism put me in a constructive mood. I sat on the bench and started to recall everything that happened today. That was all my constructive mood could offer. Here was much brighter than near the canteen, and tired pioneers were running by, so this place didn't seem scary at all. Bus, summer camps, girls. I was so tired from everything new and strange that I could not come up with a single explanation for what was going on. I heard a barely noticeable rustle nearby. I shivered and looked in that direction. A girl. Reading a book. Okay, so this is where we meet Lena properly for the first time. But we are going to ignore her, so I'll see you guys soon again. It is day 2, and we have now realized that we are a 17-year-old boy and not a 30-something-year-old man. And now we're going to go look for stuff. I don't remember what it is we're looking for, because flashing by things is goes by quickly. Oh yeah, I guess this is us trying to learn stuff about this place, like signing up for a club, for example. But the first thing we're going to do is to go to the kitchen/dining hall. Nonetheless, I decided to go have lunch. The checklist isn't going to run away, I'll get it signed later, while my stomach clearly won't wait till dinner. With these thoughts, I entered the canteen. There was almost nobody inside. Apparently, most pioneers had lunch already. A lunch plate of impressive proportions provided me with a glorious meal of 3 dishes. A soup Ypres broth, goulash from Lavrenti Pavlovich, garnished with potatoes boiled according to the craziest fashion of 15th century. Okay. And the periodic table compote. Okay. Okay. Hardly a menu 5-star restaurants would envy, but I was too hungry to care. After all, compared to my usual meal of ramen and macaroni and cheese, this indeed wasn't too bad. I sat at the nearest table and concentrated on chewing. My focus was soon disturbed by a sudden mighty slap on the back. I even choked. Ulyana was standing in front of me, with a victorious look on her face. "I'll choke the life out of you one a day. Catch me if you can." She stuck her tongue out. "You tried once and you couldn't. Alright, then I'll ambush you somewhere." "That's not fair. Look who's talking, Miss Fairplay." I grinned. Okay, so it's we're having fun here. He's not upset because he's been quite a pissy boy up until now. Okay, you wait. I'll get some food and come back. We'll eat together. I could do without such company. Better hurry up with my lunch. See, this is what I'm talking about. However, Ulyana came back after just half a minute. She had a huge roast beef on her plate and a few large boiled potatoes. Compared to my royal feast. Where did you get that? Gotta know places. She looked at me and grinned with all her 32, or however many she had, teeth. 32, I guess that's what humans have, but he's questioning if she's human at all. I won't stand for this. I never was the master of pranks, and in school I often found myself on the bullied side. But I had to get back at her somehow. And what if Olga Dmitrievna finds out that you're stealing food? I'm not stealing! She flared up. That's what you're going to tell her. I wonder if she'll believe you. And how would she know? Well, that depends on many things. Like what? Ulyana looked me in the eyes. That is not where my eyes are. Up here. Up here. I know, yeah, I'm a stupid joke, sorry. Bring me a bun, a sweet one. Where am I supposed to get it? Well, the same place where you got all this. I pointed at her plate. She hesitated. Alright, 1 bun. And promise me you won't tell Olga Dmitrievna. You have the word of a pioneer. She ran off towards the kitchen. Without hesitating, I opened the pepper box and emptied it into her drink. Ooh! Just as I finished, the restless girl came back. Here, you racketeer! Looks like she didn't notice. Okay, now, who drinks this compote last carries trays. Don't be silly. Silly? Watch me. I won't play these childish games. Look who's talking. I smiled maliciously. Ah, you watch me then! 1, 2, 3! She didn't even let me grab my glass, and in one quick motion, downed her drink. Yeah, she is gonna spit pepper milk all over me. In just 1 second, her expression changed to that of authentic terror. Her cheeks went red and her eyes were about to pop out. She jumped from the table and rushed to the table with drinking water, spitting and yelling as she went. Yeah! I decided not to wait for her and went outside, giggling to myself while finishing my bun. Okay, that's funny. Now, going anywhere else is not giving me anything useful, so let's just go to the clubhouse, I guess. Oh, right, you don't need to see this. And we're back again, and here's the thing. One of these options gives me points with Slavia, and the other gives me points with Miku. So I'm gonna have to make a save here, so that I can go back here. This will be the most important one. Can we name it? I think so. Are you sure you want to overwrite your save? Yes. Day 2, and here's the date. Now let's try and remember that. But as I said, Slavia is more important here, so let's go with Slavia. New scene. If you don't mind. Sure, let's go. We're headed towards my cabin. Roughly halfway there, Slavia stopped. Hey, I just remembered. The cars are in my cabin. Good timing. And where's that? It's just down this road. Let's go. We reached a cabin that, in fact, looked more like a trailer. Just wait here a minute. I'll be back. It took her just a few seconds to come back. There. She showed me a deck of pretty worn out cards. These must be marked in and out. That's unsportsmanlike. What happened to fair play? Tell me about it. It's hard to cheat when you don't know the rules. Shall we go? Let's go. On our way back, I decided to try and find out about something. How long have you been here? In this camp? About a week. I see. And where did you come from? I'm from the north. That is, the cold north. She looked at me and smiled. Looks like nobody in this camp is inclined to answer even the most innocent of questions. I tried to approach from another angle. And what do you like? What do you mean? Well, your hobbies. Oh, I like nature. Strange, she's not very talkative today for some reason. Nature, I see. Want to become a natural historian? More like a normal historian. I was always interested in our nation's history. That would suit her well indeed. It appeared that among all the locals, she was the only one who had nothing to hide. What if she came here just like me and simply could not trust anyone enough to tell? I tried testing the waters. And why did you choose this camp? I didn't. My parents got a voucher for me from their work. Another failure. Well, if you could choose. It's nice here. I don't think I would choose some other place if I could. Here it's like you're becoming another person. That wasn't how I saw it. Because I know how this entire thing ends, and that sentence kind of rings well with what I know. What do you mean, another person? It's just that there's so many possibilities. You can learn so much, meet so many new, interesting people here. Now she started to sound like a chief, which raised a red flag for me. I decided to stop with the questions, for now. When we came back, Olga Dmitrievna told Slavia. I just remember that the cards were at your place. It's okay, we got it. Good. Slavia and Olga Dmitrievna went inside. I was going to follow, but someone grabbed my hand. Alyssa. Yeah, she wants to bet with me, but we are not going to do that, and she's gonna be upset about it because I'm gonna crush her, unless winning against Slavia is a bad thing. We'll see how that goes. I'll see you in the next one. And here is the second part that we need to choose. We need to choose who we're going to lose against, because... Sorry about the coughing. I just came from the gym, and so I'm a bit exhausted. But yeah, if depending on who I lose against, I will unlock different scenes. And when I unlock those scenes, I will score a point with that girl. So, this time around, well, first of all, we're going to save. We're gonna save there. Can just erase everything, but because everything is finished on the old ones. But this time around we are losing against Ulyana, and unlocking Ulyana, that is. And let's go, and we're going to go to Ulyana now. Ulyana is hiding on the stage, so let's go there. The events of the past day kept flashing brightly in my head. That stupid, useless checklist. This foolish tournament. Tonight I had no intention of doing anything or to talk to anybody. The investigation of my complicated situation was the last thing on earth I would do this evening. I headed to the north. At least where I thought it was. It was my habit from my youth, to go to the north. I liked this part of my hometown more than the southern districts. Traveling to the Black Sea resorts was never my thing either. Boundless forests and fields were much closer to me than beaches and parkans. What is a parkans? Several minutes later, an open-air stage consisting of several wooden benches and a platform appeared before my eyes. I climbed onto the stage. So much varied musical equipment, loudspeakers, a microphone stand, and even a piano. I imagined a crowd of people in front of me, everyone screaming, shouting my name, myself blinded by the spotlights. I imagined a guitar in my hands and attempt to play a long and striking solo. I suppose it looked pretty funny from a stranger's point of view. A weird guy swinging his arms on stage, jumping around like an ape and making faces. I hope no one can see me here. Hey! He piped up from somewhere above. Above? Okay. I looked up and saw Ulyana hanging over the beam under the stage ceiling. And what are you doing here? I'm just, Denial is obviously futile. You saw it, didn't you? I said in frustration and turned away. Oh, I see a wasted guitar talent in you. I said nothing. Hey, come on, don't frown. It was funny enough. She giggled. Funny enough, huh? I huffed. Yep. Ulyana answered calmly. Come up here, dude. Where to? To me. I ain't gonna get up there. Don't even try to convince me. Not that I have a fear of heights. It's just that climbing up there is pointless, isn't it? Dude, what kind of attitude is that? Honestly. This guy sucks. No, just get over here. I felt in my bones that something was going wrong, but still slowly headed her way. When I found myself standing under Ulyana, she cried out, Catch me! I promise, nothing is actually happening here, and jumped. Thousands of thoughts flashed through my mind in an instant. How would I catch her? Is it worth trying? What if she dies? What if she breaks my something? My something? Why the hell does this happen to me? That's her own fault. No more fooling around. Wow, what a number of thoughts come and go within the blink of an eye. When sometimes many years are not enough to come up with a single idea. At last, logic and self-preservation instinct won the battle, and I stepped back. Dude, that's so rude. That's so rude. Boom! Ulyana landed gently, tumbled, and instantly jumped to her feet and looked at me with offense. Holy moly, why didn't you catch me? You didn't get hurt, I answered, shifting my glance. What if I did? But you didn't. What's up with you? Watched too many B movies recently? So, don't you care about me? She grinned. Well, in this situation, certainly I do care. I'm flattered. Hey, don't get any ideas. Okay, you're forgiven for the cards. And you are not. I had no time to finish the sentence. Ulyana jumped off the stage and vanished in the dark of the night. Yep, one more childish trick from the silly girl. Sure, I was worrying about her at the moment, as I would for anyone else in her place. After once again cursing Ulyana in my mind, I headed towards my cabin. For the first time today, I finally felt how tired I was. And this is a new scene. Oh, we're finished with the scene, I mean, so we'll skip to the next one. See you soon. And we're back, and I appears to be an idiot. If I wanted to combine paths, I shouldn't have done Lena and Alyssa and Slavia and Ulyana, because those two groups share paths. This is the first time I'm trying to make a playthrough effectively, so I fail horribly. But now I know what to look for if I have a guide, that is. But yeah, depending on where I'm going, I am getting points with different girls. So I already on the Ulyana path, so we will be going to the Ulyana path. Let's go. Fine, I'll help the sports club, because one of the we need to help somewhere in the camp today. I was hoping that I could escape the obligatory work if I pretended I'm helping the sports club. They obviously have tons of members and could probably do just as well without a single extra pair of hands. Okay, smart thinking. However, I'd better visit the sports ground, or at least to check in there. Just in case Olga Dmitrievna finds out that her ideal pioneer slacks off and dodges community service. You never know. I could imagine worse punishments than a public telling off at a party gathering. I wasn't really planning for that to happen. All of a sudden, I saw no cleaning, painting, or repairing, but a football match. They were playing 5 versus 6. More panty shots. What's up with this game when it comes to Ulyana? I took a closer look at the players and recognized Ulyana. I won't interfere, I'll just watch. The team were obviously mismatched. One team consisted entirely of younger kids that looked about 12 years old. The other team consisted entirely of teenagers. Besides, they had one extra player, Ulyana. Mind you, what can one extra person, moreover, one girl, do? So, a sexist dude on top of everything else? Okay. Soon enough, I realized that I was mistaken. Ulyana had a good dribbling technique, cutting through the defenders one by one. She obviously lacked teamwork skills, but they weren't even required at this level. She scored with enviable regularity. I came closer to the pitch. Hey, come and join us! They showed one man on their team. I guess that's what counts as community service here. We've already finished everything, said Ulyana, sounded insulted. I looked over the sports ground again. The benches were freshly painted, new nets placed behind the goals. How did they manage to get through all of this stuff? Come join the team. Well, there were 11 people, at least. Well, given that I escaped the last time, I should indeed play now. Ball at the center, we start. With the very first touch, I put the ball into the top corner with a delicate strike. Actually, it wasn't that difficult. The pitch was almost 50 meters long, and the goalkeeper on the opposing team couldn't even reach the crossbar. Sometime later, we tied up, despite our team being 7 or 8 goals behind at the start. Objectively speaking, one should note that Ulyana's team scored a couple of goals during my time here too. More precisely, she scored. You couldn't say that she had a Ronaldinho's trick or Beckham's shots in her pocket. She would just kick the ball into open spaces, and coming up towards the goal she just toe punted every time. However, such a dull strategy brought positive results. I could not keep an eye on every opponent, and my teammates were not much help. Certainly, I played better than all of them theoretically, and theoretically, I could have scored as many times as I wanted, but it seemed unsportsmanlike to me. Winning isn't everything. It's taking part that counts, isn't it? But after Ulyana's words... Penalty shootout! The winner wins the game. I made up my mind that I don't want to lose. At the time it was 11-9 in our favor, so it wasn't reasonable to object. You're in goal, I'll shoot, we switch that. One shot each? Yes! I stood at the line and I got ready. She took a run and sent it straight into my hands. That's not fair! What's not fair? I'll shoot again! Okay, just do it, I said, smiling. The second shot would go better in rugby. One more time. Absolutely not, she sniffed. But you shall never score a goal against me. We'll see. I put a ball into the low right corner of a goal with a precise kick. Ulyana didn't even move. However, there was no point. Penalty kicks like that are uncatchable. Looks like I won. She answered nothing and just looked at me resentfully. I needed to lighten the mood. Don't get upset. I just, And that's when the music started playing, calling the pioneers for lunch. Alright, I'll get even with you some other time. And she runs off. She laughed, waved her hand, and ran in the direction of the canteen. I juggled the ball a little and followed her. Who is marching forward in a row? It is our pioneer. Who is marching forward? I don't know. I don't know marching songs. It is our pioneer squad. Pioneers in a row usually march to the canteen in the Soviet camp. I was looking for a place where no one would disturb me, like what happened before, just so I can eat in peace. And for that I have to at least not be the last one to come. But I was pretty sure, whatever happens here happens whether I wanted to or not. Whether I wanted to or not means that this is a scene that we can skip. See you guys at the next one. And it turns out that Ulyana really likes to mess around with the food, and she has been starting a food war here in the canteen. So this time around we're gonna help her. Nah, running away is hardly a good idea. For starters, Olga Dmitrievna has caught me already, and dashing off would only aggravate my punishment. As well as that, I was indeed partially guilty. Of course, it was all her fault. But if I hadn't reacted like that, probably we could have avoided this thrashing. Probably. I opened the cabinet and took out a broom, a mop, and a dustpan. Olga Dmitrievna wasn't anywhere near Ulyana by the time I returned. She's gone? Can't you see for yourself? Ulyana looked upset. All her youthful spirit vanished without a trace. Okay, hang on a sec. I'll go and wash myself a bit first. I shot her an angry glance and headed towards the exit. I washed the scraps of lunch off myself and returned to the canteen. Well, no escaping it. We have to clean it up. It's all because of you! That's a single gaze from her gave me the creeps. Of course it is. It's me who's guilty of everything. It's me who's a local natural hazard. Oh, shut up. Still, it's kind of strange that she's not trying to avoid this cleanup duty. Ulyana had a solid opportunity to just run away and leave me alone, but somehow she did the exact opposite, diligently gathering broken plate fragments, mopping the floor, picking up chairs and tables. In fact, she was so fast that I had a tough time keeping up with her. Well now, aren't you suddenly acting like a goody-goody? It's not like I want to spend the whole day here, you dork. She still sounded irritated. Listen, you got to understand that you can't behave like that. At least not to such an extent. For some reason, I decided to try and give her a moral lecture. I haven't done a thing! It was you who was calling me names! Ulyana grabbed a bucket and a mop and went to the farthest corner of the canteen. Looks like she's still angry. Looking back at the mountain of broken tableware, I finally began to understand the scope of the catastrophe. We're lucky that at least the forks and spoons are made of metal. We still have something to eat with. But there are hardly any plates left. Hey! Ulyana called me with a shout. I went over to her. I don't get it. Why do you hate me so much? Oh, that was strange that it actually didn't go directly from text bubble to text bubble like it usually does. It actually was an empty frame there, like we needed to take a pause, but I didn't get out of the pause, it just did it on its own. Her face became so serious that I was ready to believe that it wasn't just yet another trick of hers. Why do you think so? I have no idea, that's exactly what I'm asking you. I don't hate you. It's just that sometimes you behave like, well, you know. As simple as that, but still true. Like what? I have no idea. She lifted her gaze to me, boiling with curiosity. Well, for starters, what's the big idea of pouring the compote all over me? You were asking for it. She smiled for the first time ever since we started cleaning. Yeah, sure. I heaved a deep sigh. So, what do you expect from others then? Nothing, she replied acidly. The discussion was over, so I just continued cleaning up in silence. It took us a few hours to fix the canteen. At last, all the broken tableware was gone. Chairs and tables were in their designated places. The floor looked clean. We were sitting together with Ulyana next to her at the food counter, breathing heavily, deservedly resting. Now you see how much effort it has to be put into because of a silly trick. But I'm not tired at all, though the sweat pouring down her face told the opposite story. Oh well, good for you. So, what are we gonna do next? I don't know about you, but I'd rather go... Nope, that's not all. You have to... She hesitated. To help me with another little thing. Thinking of another silly prank? You bet! She was smiling broadly. I'm not your man here. I'm more than fed up with just one punishment for today. Okay, here's the deal. If you help me now, there won't be any more pranks. Sure, that was an inviting prospect, but somehow I couldn't bring myself to trust Ulyana even for a moment. Well, it wouldn't hurt to ask. So, what is your cunning plan? We're gonna steal the candy. What? I should have expected something like that. Candy's for kids. You are a kid. I'm a kid. I'm in my 30s and I'm still a kid. You need candy. You need your daily something of candy. Candy's for kids. Soon the chef will go out to dump the trash. Nobody's gonna see us. Count me out. Whatever. She grunted and turned away. And I'll do it myself. And I won't allow... I couldn't even finish the sentence, as Ulyana already jumped over the counter, ran to the cabinet, opened the door and started rummaging through it. Hey, cut that! It's not like you haven't got enough problems with Olga Dmitrievna. She didn't reply. You won't get away with just cleaning duty for something like that. Ulyana closed the cabinet. She held a huge bag of candy in her hands. Oh, you little... Put it back! She stuck out her tongue at me and dashed off through the back door. I couldn't just leave it at that. I darted off in pursuit. Sure, the girl had quite a head start, but I still funneled all my energy into the chase. I won't lose her again. We ran through the square, turned at the music club building, and came out onto the forest trail. I'd almost caught Ulyana when she stopped abruptly. I couldn't pull up as sharply, so I crashed into her, sending us sprawling. Oh, so this is the scene, huh? This is the suggestive scene I was talking about in the beginning. We rolled down onto the grass. Had she been older, then this would have been a kissing scene. But that's not gonna happen, because this game is hinting that there is chemistry going on, but nothing is gonna happen. Gotcha! I gave a victorious shout. No, you didn't, she replied with an ashamed tone. Ulyana was lying under me. Her face was right next to mine. I felt erratic breathing and the heat of her body. You don't need to go into the details. She is a third of your age. Approximately. Sure, right now she's only a child, but soon enough she'll become a woman. Ew! That's gross! It was pretty embarrassing. Holy shit. You gonna me? She said, coming back to her senses. You want me to? In a way, it was more like a game to her. Sure do. Okay, I'm trying to think back here. There was, at this age, there was a lot of sex jokes even in my childhood. Not sure it ever was this graphic, however, but I was never with the popular kids. I never got into a situation like this at all, not even close. But there was still a lot of sex jokes. I mean, I was, when we were 14, 15, I think, we was joking around filming a porno, for example. Well, yeah. Sure do. She gave a cunning smile and snorted quietly. Or was it just my imagination? I'm not really in the mood. Ah, whatever. Ulyana reached up and bit me on the nose. Bit you on the nose?! I wasn't expecting that and even pulled back a little. Just a moment of hesitation was enough for her to wrestle out and run a dozen feet away. Watch it! You're gonna regret this later. She laughed out loud and disappeared into the woods. The candy bag was left lying on the ground near me. I wonder if she dropped it on purpose. It's getting near dinner time, so I had to hurry up and return the candy. And preferably, very preferably, stay under the radar. Of course I'll explain the situation. It was Ulyana who had stolen them. But who's gonna believe me? Olga Dmitrievna was already waiting for me at the entrance of the canteen. Good job, Semyon. On what? I hid the bag of sweets behind my back. The bag was transparent and too big to put it in my pockets. I was talking about the cleanup. Everything is clean and tidy. Well, yeah. And where is Ulyana? I wish I knew. She'll come soon. Okay then, go and have your dinner. I entered the canteen. And I guess this is where something we can skip. To my utter lack of surprise, it was full. Yeah, we should be able to skip this. So I'll see you at the next one, which we will not start because this I will just put us there, and that's gonna be it for today's episode. So yeah, I'll see you there. We're not leaving yet because something different happened. What the hell? Let me check here. Looking for Shurik. No, we're not there yet. Storytelling with Ulyana is the next one. Okay, so because we are on this side of the path, I'm guessing that we see something slightly different. Okay. Interesting. But yeah, I guess we'll be finishing this one. Because this one was unexpected, honestly. Damn, what am I even doing here? Yeah, it's the camp, park, and the dance and Hoot and a Holler, or whatever it's called. Slavia left. I probably should not refuse her after everything she did for me, but I wasn't made for such activities. Yeah, this is what I saw, and it confused the hell out of me. Like, what is this scene? Why haven't I seen this before? And why is Slavia in the middle of it all? The pioneers kept on dancing. At least they like to ball. It's a ball. Olga Dmitrievna danced too. And apparently, the nurse Viola knows how to play the guitar. Awesome. Olga Dmitrievna danced too. I consider that not really appropriate. Screw you! The leader has to keep order around. Yeah, she can still have fun! Especially since she's not 17. Olga Dmitrievna came over to me as if she felt that someone doubted her professionalism. Why are you not dancing? I don't really want to. No choice. She smiled cunningly. Then I have a perfect task for you. A task, which is... Any other activities seem better than dancing. You cleaned the canteen well today, but I think you haven't fully atoned yet. Oh. Ulyana! What? Come here. Ulyana came over to us reluctantly. I see you've had enough dancing for a long time to come. No, I haven't. She was sweating like a pig, so it seemed that the leader was right. I have a task for you and Semyon. But Olga Dmitrievna! Ulyana begged. It's dance time now, and it's late! It won't take much time. Slavia was sorting the books in the library, but hasn't finished. You have only a couple of shelves to do. But... No buts! For goodness sake. I didn't like public work, but dancing. I'm ready. Good job, Semyon. That's my boy. A real pioneer. You should follow his example, Ulyana. Ulyana didn't appreciate such an example, though. So do it. The whole camp is relying on you. I'll remember this, she hissed. What we're doing outside, oh right, it's her cabin as well. Ulyana and Alyssa. And now I see that there's an owl here as well. A Sovjanok. The camp in the evening was beautiful. Silence and peace calmed me. Only the distant music from the square reminded me that I'm not alone here. And Ulyana, who just came back. You could do the cleaning in your dress, though. I grinned. This is all your fault. She breathed heavily, and her face was as red as a tomato. So I wouldn't have been surprised if steam started coming out of her ears. You! It is all your fault! Why me again? If only you'd just been quiet. What would have changed? She'd make us do it anyway. You... She wasn't able to speak normally, just hissed. So what if I kept silent? Do you think she would let you go and keep on having fun? Ulyana looked at me. She seemed to calm down a bit. Really? You don't care at all? You can't even dance. So what if I can't? If you had danced with me, it would have been fun. She turned to her usual childlike mode. I might have, but you see how those things turn out. We won't have a chance to see who is a better dancer. We approached the library. It was already dark outside. I was slightly surprised by Olga Dmitrievna's request. Or more like an order. To sort the books at night. This is so bizarre. There was no light inside and the switch didn't work, unpleasantly clicking with every push. It might have actually worked properly, but the lights weren't turning on. Wait, I'll get the candles. Ooh, nice. A little bit of an animation there, actually. I was just about to ask her how she knows where the candles and matches are, when two small lights appeared on the table next to me. That's better, Ulyana said, satisfied with herself. What's next? What's what next? She looked at me inquiringly. What will we do next? How should I know? She chuckled. Great. I walked around the bookcases. Olga Dmitrievna said something about a couple of shelves. I touched the books and made sure that there was no dust on them. It looked like someone that did a really good job here before us. Having examined the whole library, I didn't find anything to clean. The leader must have made a mistake. Suddenly I heard footsteps from behind. The old cracked floor was squeaking, so Ulyana wasn't able to sneak up on me unnoticed. Boo! I turned around. Oh my god, I'm so scared, please. Oh, whatever. She turned away resentfully. It looks really clean in here, so the dimly illuminated rows of books looked at me reproachfully. Unknown authors from long forgotten years. I wonder if anyone still remembers them. Xenia must remember. I'm sure that she remembers everything. Okay, sit down. Ulyana moved a chair over to me. I sat on it. So, what's next? Let's tell scary stories to each other. We have 2 chairs and 2 candles, so there should be 2 stories. One mine and one yours. Okay, I agreed without thinking. I hadn't the slightest intention of going back to the dance, and going by my experience, there was nothing to do in the camp at night. Especially as I knew a couple of nice stories which would be able to really scare Ulyana. And that was awesome. You first. Okay. She made herself comfortable, embraced the chairs back with her arms and moved the candle as close to her face as possible. Once upon a time, in a village far away, lived a boy, just a normal boy. He went to school, played with other children. There was nothing special about him. One day, he made a bet with his friend that he wasn't scared to go to the abandoned house. Ulyana left a long pause. So, what was in that house? Don't interrupt me. Inventing it on the fly? She pouted her lips and continued. They say a witch have lived in that house and people still see her ghost there in the night. Nobody know for sure, but everyone was scared. The boy had said that it was all nonsense and he was ready to spend the whole night in there, so he did, but he didn't return in the morning. He was found changed. Ulyana stopped talking again. Thrilling. Did he hang himself with his shoelaces? I said skeptically. She frowned again. Is that the end? Of course not! They buried the boy the way he was supposed to be, the coffin and stuff. His relatives and friends grieved, but they couldn't bring him back. After a few days, people started to disappear in the village. Nobody knew how or why. They just vanished into thin air. The villagers wanted to call the police, but a friend of that boy who changed himself in the witch's house told them that he had seen the boy. Nobody believed him at first, but people kept on disappearing. Then the villagers decided to dig up the coffin. There were long nail scratches on the inside of the lid, but there was no body. Where did it go? Ulyana moved the candle away from her and made a scary face, or at least what she thought was scary. In the end, all of the villagers disappeared, and the occasional passerby near the witch's house tell that they saw 2 ghosts. Ulyana blew out her candle and stopped talking. It looked like the story was finished. Wonderful! I applauded. Not quite the Pulitzer Prize worthy, but are you scared? Frightened? Oh, I'm just shivering all over. Oh, whatever. Tell your story then. I'm sure I won't even flinch. I collected my thoughts and decided to tell a story I had read on a blog of an acquaintance of mine a few months back. He was quite a good storyteller. At least I liked his style, so success was guaranteed. I certainly didn't remember the story word for word, so I told it with my own words. It was a faraway space station, the last boundary of humanity, located on the border with a hostile civilization, the 3rd month of the ceasefire. It can't be really called a ceasefire, more like not a war. A small group of survivors is exhausted by a long siege. On one hand, they can't retreat, leaving the outpost. On the other hand, they understand that they won't last even a minute if the enemy attacks. Despair is the best word to describe the situation. The food is running out, there is ammo only for a few shots which will only seem like a greeting fireworks. There is only plenty of air and water, owing to the regeneration system. People didn't talk to each other for weeks at a time. They may just not see the point of wasting their time of communication while death is at the door. Or behind meter stick station armor to be precise. It is really better just to wait for the rescue of enemy attacks. Both outcomes will lead to the end of his torture. This situation looks like a chess game against an invisible opponent. It's the hardest part. Endgame. Any wrong move will lead to defeat. Yours. Or your enemies. But does the enemy know about it? They may be afraid of making a wrong move too. Meanwhile the humans may move their king. But only 1 square forward, and then 1 square back again. Any other move will automatically lead to defeat. A step forward is an implied threat to attack, and a step backward is a deliberate necessity of defense. The game would be much easier if the opponent was sitting in front of you. Even an experienced chess player can't hide nervous eye movements, the occasional drop of sweat, or shaky hands. On the other hand, everything is futile. Everyone realizes that the situation is hopeless, because no one will decide to make a move to escape the imminent defeat. On the other hand, when seeing the opponent in front of you, understanding that he is totally like you and can make a mistake, you can more easily stake everything. The opponent may feel the same difficulties. These are the circumstances of the few men and women on the edge of the universe. There were no orders from headquarters for several days. Though the last order had contained nothing useful, only the usual demand to keep on defending. 1 square forward, 1 square backward. The swinging of an eternal pendulum. At the beginning of the 4th month, the commander decided to retreat. He reasons that the lives of his soldiers are more important than the mythical ideals of humanity. No one will judge him for this. Moreover, they can't change anything. Their preparations don't take much time. The greatest asset you can save from a sinking ship is your life. The whole station crew board the rescue vessel. The launch sequence starts. 3, 2, 1. And nothing. The bay doors won't open. They send mechanics to check for malfunctions, but they don't find anything. The doors should open, but they don't open the second time, or the third time. The commanders order his crew to leave the station in rescue pods, but they can't launch either. They explain it as technical malfunctions. The crew tries to communicate with headquarters in vain. After a few days, the executive officers notice that there is nothing on the radars. Nothing at all. No planets, no asteroids, no enemy ships. Just an endless darkness. They run out of food in a month. Everybody thinks that this is the end. But no one dies. Not after a day, a week, not even after a month. As if there is no need for food to sustain human life. At this moment, the majority of the crew goes insane. Some of them just stay in their rooms and pray. Some wander around the station. Some try to commit suicide. But neither point-blank shots with a plasma gun, nor a hydro tank diving, nor even simply slitting their veins brings any results. Oh, they're outside of the universe, so laws of physics does not apply here. Fun. Days pass by, months or even years. Nobody keeps track of time. Insane people recover their minds again and normal people go insane. It repeats many times. In the end, the crew accepts its condition. They start to make up occupations, theatrical stagings, sports tournaments, reading of self-written books. A lot of family couples appear and many more break up. It is an infinite flow of time, an enclosed loop of human life, and only the darkness on the radar reminds them of the emptiness outside. But there is an emptiness inside the station too. In the end, people stop living. They just lie in their rooms and sleep. Not 24/7 at first, but as the time goes by they learn to fall into a trance. Every person has his own dreams. One returns to his childhood, one gets his lost love back, one defends ideals of humanity with a blaster in his hands, some other just wander in space. Shabby from skirmishes with the enemy, a rescue vessel docks with the station, the boarding squad gets inside. The whole station looks like a piece of scrap metal which has floated in space for 1,000 years. The reactor had shut down a long time ago. There were marks of the laser shots on the walls. The equipment was all smashed. Okay, so now we're back to reality. People have found them. They found decayed skeletons of people who died horribly defending the frontier of humanity in almost every room. And only one cryptic message sent to the headquarters implied that something was wrong. Save us. We just want to die. I finished the story and looked at Ulyana. Her face was concealed by the darkness. So that's the story. I blew out the light. Ulyana shrieked, rose up and threw herself towards me. We fell on the floor. What's up with you? Nothing. Her voice sounded very scared. Looks like my story hit the jackpot. I mentally congratulated myself. Ulyana wasn't having fun though. She embraced me, shivered and sobbed. What's wrong with you silly thing? I patted her head. It's just a story. It's not real. You and your stupid stories. Ulyana called it up to me more. Were you that scared? Yeah. Frankly, I didn't expect such an honest answer from her. Everything's alright. Time heal all wounds. She'll calm down. Listen, Semyon. What? Never mind. It's nothing. She buried her face in my chest. Minutes passed. Okay, I understand. Maybe we should go. I listened. Ulyana snored quietly. Hey, wake up! Can you even fall asleep from fear? Wake up, I said! No reaction. I tried to stand up. Ulyana certainly didn't weigh more than 40 kilograms, but imagine yourself lying under such a weight. It's really not easy to stand up. Would think that Ulyana was dead if not for her breathing. I certainly could make more effort. But then I'd wake her up, and it all will start again. Such an unenviable situation. There is the option to wait until she wakes up by herself, though. She certainly won't sleep all the way until morning after such a story. Look through all the windows at the starry sky. I wonder if there is really a distant outpost from a ghost crew. My eyes slowly closed, and in a moment I fell asleep. Day 4. And that is where we're cutting off for today's episode. I felt warmth in my dream. I don't remember, I think this is new as well. So this is where we're going to pick up in the next episode. So yeah. Far longer than I anticipated. I did not know that this one, we were going to get this scene for free. I thought there were going to be more questions and more things to choose. But no, we got to have a little bit of a story time with Ulyana instead. So yeah, thank you guys for watching. And if you want to help me out, you can do so by clicking the link down in the description. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll be seeing you guys in the next one. Goodbye everyone.